to find a way to win their first-round series. They won't do that if they're the 7 or 8 seed. You cannot, last year, win 47 games, lose in 5 in the first round, add Paul George, forget the Melo part of it, but add him as well.
Yes. And then not even get out of the first round.
Win 47 games, which is what they're on pace to do, and lose in 5 in the first round.
If you make it to the playoffs.
You can't be the same team you were last year. You can't.
All right, let's talk about LeBron. We just discussed him a little bit. Wherever you fall on this guy, what you cannot argue is that when he's on the court, the Cavs can win, even when he's playing the best team in the East. Last night, his Cavs still not back at full strength, still without a starting rotation, still won, beating the Raptors 112-106. LeBron had 27 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. The Cavaliers have now won 9 of their last 10 games. LeBron James spoke on his team's future moving forward.
We don't know what we can become. We don't know. we have no idea. But right now we're playing good ball. We want to try to continue that, but we don't know what we can become. We have not been whole all year.
All right, Nick, do the Cavs erase any doubt that they are the favorites in the East, despite what these standings tell us?
Well, yeah, I mean, you said they played the best team in the East. I was wondering, was it an inter-squad scrimmage?
Hilarious.
Because they're the best team in the East.
They're the best record in the East.
Listen, they don't have the best record in the East. They're right now going to struggle. I mean, they're going to get to around 50 wins, same as last year, by the way. But for them, there has to be an answer to the question if it's not Cleveland. And so the question, what has to go through your mind if you're trying to make the case is, but like a former NBA GM who I have a ton of respect for, Bobby Marks, was trying to make the case to me on Twitter last night that there's reason to be concerned about the Cavs. Then tell me if they're the question, who's the answer? Because I watched Toronto last night try to OG Anunoby. Rookie, you try to guard LeBron James. That's hilarious. Pascal Siakam, you guarded him and did a good job on him the last time you guys played when he went for 34 and 17. That didn't work out. All right, CJ Miles, you get a chance. LeBron looked like one of those cartoon characters when they put out the big steak in front of him with the saliva coming out when CJ Miles started checking him. So that's your triumvirate to go try to check LeBron James. So if it's not going to be them, who is it going to be? The Celtics? Well, if the Celtics were healthy, but they're not, and they're not going to be. The Celtics with Gordon Hayward and Kyrie and Marcus Smart, now that's a discussion. But that team has not existed but for 7 minutes all year. Philly? Listen, I think Philly is the toughest matchup for them, but you simply don't go in the NBA from not making the playoffs to winning your conference. That's never how this goes, unless, like we saw the Celtics do it when they added KG and Ray Allen. That's an outlier. Usually there's a progression. Look at the progression the Thunder had. The Thunder went from not making the playoffs to facing to taking the Lakers to 6 in the first round, to the next year going to the Western Conference Finals against the Mavericks, to then making the finals. So who's the answer to the question if it's not Cleveland? You have LeBron playing offensively as well as he's ever played, and the point he made there is important. They have played 0 games this year with their actual lineup. So whatever we think they are right now, theoretically, and I believe they should be better once they are healthy, and George Hill should be back before the postseason. So, I mean, who are the favorites in the East? The team with LeBron has been the case for the last decade. You see?
Just pause for silence. Nick, right? You were right. That's something I'm trying to teach you.
Oh!
I'm trying to teach you also.
Let me take it and I'll say it one more time, please.
Nick Wright was right about Cleveland. I was concerned. Jenna, you were concerned. And it's not as if we're not fans of LeBron's or fans of the Cavs. It was what was playing out in front of our eyes. I mean, multiple lineups. Kyrie, let's go back. Kyrie forces a trade. He wasn't happy. Forces a trade out of Cleveland. Man, LeBron hadn't played without no superstar like Kyrie. Like, how are they going to be able to get it done? And it's not our fault. Toronto, they are a better team. They're still just not as good as Cleveland. I mean, they got the best record at home. They got a great record on the road, 24 and 15. Their bench, it is deeper. The younger players, man, they are developing. But they still don't have no answer for the guy in Cleveland, in LBJ. And if he has a competent lineup with him, he has shown that you have to have an answer to him. And no one in the East has an answer to him unless it would be Philadelphia. And that would be not an answer to him. It would be Joel Embiid, who they wouldn't have an answer for. So no one in the East has an answer for LeBron. The only way you can fight that is to be able to have someone who is a once every generation type player in Joel Embiid. So to me, Toronto, these last 2 losses to Cleveland, oh, these were critical. I mean, these are critical losses. And Nick, you and I were talking last night. And I just believe that a team that is trying to be special, and if Toronto, if their goal is trying to win an NBA championship, bring that championship to Toronto the first time, you question some of the judgment of their leaders.
I don't love what Kyle Lowry did. Kyle Lowry, I know you went to Villanova. I know you were part of what became this program. You are their biggest recruiting tool for 5 stars because you're the best pro they have.
Yes.
I get all that. You cannot be in San Antonio at a 9:20 East Coast tip-off for the national championship game the day before, back-to-backs against Cleveland and Boston. And if you are going to make that decision, if you are going to say, I can be and don't worry about it, what was he, 5 points last night?
I had to steal you.
What you can't be is 2 for 11 with 5 points after that. Like, I saw it.
People won't be thinking about and looking about, but when you have the type of athletic maturity, like these 2 games, and Boston was only 2 games behind them going into last night's
with
game.
the tiebreaker, and you play them on a back-to-back tonight. Like, Boston ended up losing last night, which helps them to where they now have some breathing room for the 1 seed. But this all falls apart on you if at the end of the year, after this great season, oh, guess what?
Right.
We're not even the 1 seed. We're all this up, and I am not saying Kyle Lowry necessarily would have played better had he not been in San Antonio.
But we wouldn't have to look at it.
But it was the worst game of the year for him. And you have talked about, CeCe, how because the roster is so new in Cleveland, these guys, aside from LeBron and Love and JR and Tristan, don't have the repeated history of beating these dudes in the head. And so they don't have that confidence. And some of the bench players on Toronto, they also don't have the feeling of these guys always beat us. This was an opportunity after you blew a game 2 weeks ago, and your team leader is in San Antonio the night before and goes for 5 points, worst game of the year. I don't love that. I don't love it, Kyle.
All right, Cavs win 9 of their last 10 games. Can't believe Nick was right. Nick was right, said CeCe. Nick, coming up, let's go back to some football.
Best thing is we're on to